I'm Love Coach Scott Catamas, and I'm so honored to help get us started and to introduce Fumi Johns Stewart, who has been actively making something very magical happen. And so, Fumi, please do come on in and join me for this conversation. Hi, Fumi.
Hi, Scott. Good morning. How are you?
I'm
Uh,
wonderful. I'm so honored to be here to help get us started with this amazing program that you and Unify have put together.
well, I'm so honored to be here with you, Scott, and with your community, Sacred Sunday, and just so thrilled to be here to talk to you about to introduce you to the world of peace polls.
We both had a mutual friend, Jeffrey, who was very involved in the peace polls, and I knew him quite well for many years. Jeffrey passed a few years back, so I've been
Yes.
aware of the peace poll through him. But I'd love for you to just take it away and give us the history of the peace poll.
I would love to do that. And today is 11/22, 2020. So, well, what makes that day so special for the Peaceful Project today? And why are we hosting Global Peaceful Day? And I'd like to begin by um, talking about the founder, because without the founder of May Peace Prevail on Earth, we wouldn't be celebrating this day or celebrating the over 250,000 peacefuls that have been planted around the world in the last half a century. So, this is like the day we celebrate his legacy, the legacy of May Peace Prevail on Earth, and all those peacefuls that are shining as beacons of light as we speak here today. So, you've mentioned Jeff Reese. He was one of our great peaceful ambassadors, but we've got so many hundreds of thousands of peaceful ambassadors around the world that have planted these peacefuls. And we call these peacefuls the acupunctures of the earth. So they stand as beacons of light long after they have been planted. They are keeping silent vigil for peace on earth and continuing to meditate on our behalf. And I think that's one of the beauties of planting a peaceful. They stand on your behalf as peace builders and peacemakers. So we have a. Shall I talk about the program we have today, Scott?
Yeah, tell us a little bit. But one quick thing,
Mm-hmm.
250,000. I just want everybody who's listening to really take that in. 250,000 of these peace poles planted all over the world. So before we just get into the program, tell us a little bit about how that's happened. And are they everywhere? Are they in Antarctica? Are they in, tell us a little bit about that because I get excited when I think about that, especially your vision of it really is like the acupuncture of the world, that all over the world there's these peace poles holding ground and holding vigil for the peace that we all long for.
Right. I'm so glad you asked that. Well, it has such a long history of 70 years. The Peacefuls and May Peace Prevail on Earth movement. It first got started in Japan with the founder Masahisa Goi, who after World War II was so moved by, touched and really affected by the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He went into deep meditation and he wanted to be a world server. And he received the prayer, the message, the mantra, may peace prevail on earth, and was asked to spread that to the world community and to really activate a shift in consciousness, and how it was so important that this message come out of Japan as the first country that suffered the atomic bomb. So that's how May Peace Prevail on Earth, the mantra prayer, got started. And from then, it just grew and grew. People gravitated around him. He was a spiritual teacher. He really guided a lot of people back then in Japan who were still suffering from the aftermath of the world and needed spiritual guidance. So gradually the group grew and grew, and peace bowls started to be planted by really, it started in Japan. They started planting peace bowls in Japan, and then in early 1980s, it started to go out of Japan. The Peace Bowl Project was introduced to the world, and starting actually the year of the International Year of Peace. Do you remember the International Year of Peace, Scott? 1986. So that was the debut for the peace poles to come out of Japan, and they started to get planted by people like you and me that really felt a connection to the message and this icon that could be planted as a visual signpost, as a portal. So it just grew. It's very grassroots. I mean, very, very grassroots. You see a peace bowl and you think, my goodness, where did this come from? And then you find out, right now we have the internet, you just Google peace bowls, it's easy. But back then it was word of mouth. People found out about the peace bowls and they wanted to have one for their home, their community. It's been gifted as wedding gifts, it's been gifted to mayors. We've mailed a couple of peace bowls to the White House. You know, let's hope it's planted somewhere there. But you know, people just got very moved and inspired to continue planting peace bowls because they felt that that represented their wish for peace, and not only the wish for peace, for justice to prevail, for harmony to prevail, for compassion to prevail on earth. So it became a symbol, a very deep sacred symbol for so many people. And people traveled around the world, carried these peace bowls, and just got it's magical, really, isn't it, Scott? That all
It
these
is.
people and millions, it really is, and I can't tell you how it happened. It's really, uh, um, I would say it was a divine calling for the people of Earth to go and plant these peace bowls.
It's so beautiful that this is on Unify. And obviously, Unify is all about bringing us together. And this is what this time in this world is. I truly do believe that this pandemic um, is causing everyone to slow down. So many of our distractions have been taken away: festivals, restaurants, bars, clubs, sporting events, dances, conferences. And so we're much more at home and much more
Hmm.
hopefully really reflecting on, okay, what's going on in my life, what's working, what's not working, and ultimately how can I have more peace in my life and more peace in my relationships. And of course, that's a big part of what my company LoveCoach Academy is all about. Our big show that we do Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe, which is on Unify every Saturday night. And we called it that because we recognize that the people who are attracted to us are from all over the world. And that's the biggest thing they have in common. They might be Republican or Democrat, Green, but everyone wants peace. We all want peace. At least the people that are attracted to Unify and to our particular tribe. And so it's so perfect that we're doing this celebration of the Global Peace Poll. And I want to ask you, how does one get one? So somebody's watching. I want to plant a peace pole in my park or at some sacred place or in my backyard. How do people get a peace pole?
I would love to get to that, Scott, but let me mention why today is so important, because I think I think the listeners would really appreciate this. Today is actually the birthday of the founder, who would be turning 104 years old.
Oh,
So, that's why we decided to run this on his birthday in honor of, the legacy he's left us. So it's really happy birthday to founder Masahisa Goi. And of course, in the program, we'll be introducing him and his work more. But how do you go about to get these peace polls? Well, we have the best of the bestest URLs in the world. It's worldpeace.org. So you can all go to worldpeace.org and find out about peace polls, about May Peace Prevail on Earth movement, and go and order your peace poll. But not only that, you can make your own peace poll, you can craft your own peace poll as well. So all that information is there. Also today, we're celebrating the founder's birthday by launching a virtual peace poll map, a virtual map where you can go to worldpeace.org, and the map is 3D. It spins. You can zoom in to these peace polls. You can see peace poll, photos of these peace polls that are standing. We want people, and it's being populated starting today.
Wow.
We started populating it at about 8 a.m. So, I'm seeing it on the screen here, Scott. I mean, if I could screen share that with you.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay, let's screen share that because I'm so excited about sharing this map. Let's see what it's going to look like for you here. Look at this map. Can you see it?
Yeah, and I see all the polls.
Oh my, look at this. Okay, let me see. You can spin the map. Look at, since 8 o'clock this morning, all these people jumped online to add a peace poll.
So what we're seeing are, in the past few hours, those people that have planted a virtual peace poll in their home, wherever they are, and look at how global it already is. I mean,
I know it's just
incredible.
let's look at this. So if you click on this, it's going to zoom into the location of the peace poll.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow.
Isn't that fantastic?
That is fantastic. And this is at
It's
worldpeace.org.
worldpeace.org. And the beauty of this is you can either plant or add a peace poll you own. Let's say I've got a peace poll in my garden. So you can add that peace poll with a story. There's a place to add a story, your photo, and you can add your own peace poll. Or you can be walking along the street and go, oh my God, there's a peace poll here in the corner, of this mall. I'm going to add that on the virtual map. You can do that. You can do this on your cell phone while you're walking. Or, how you mentioned that we're all so concerned about world situation right now. So many things are happening, and your show is so wonderful, bringing the tribe together to really, focus on the needs of the moment with all the prayers and meditation. But this is a way for people to go and plant a virtual peace poll.
Yeah.
Let's say there's a situation in a country that needs our prayers, needs our attention, or you want to plant a virtual peace poll on top of a sacred mountain. You want to plant a virtual peace poll, where your ancestors, are from. You can go and plant a virtual peace poll, and you can see that right here. The virtual peace polls are right here. And when you click on virtual, you'll see the color yellow. These are the virtual peace polls that people have planted. So it goes, physical, virtual peace polls, but this is a way for everyone to really infuse the globe with their prayers and intentions for peace to prevail, and be, join the global, the family. We have a family on earth here, our tribe, our peace tribe, who are builders, who are peacemakers. And we're all stepping up now, as you say. We're all coming together, and this is the moment to truly, step up to our mission and purpose on the planet, which is really to awaken the consciousness, to have that conscious evolution here on the planet. So
Oh,
I'm really thrilled to share this map with you.
it's beautiful. And I want to offer a thought. It's wonderful for us to plant our virtual peace ball and pray for world peace. But as Gandhi taught us, we have to be the change we want to see in the world.
Exactly.
And I want to acknowledge that almost all of us have relationships that are not peaceful, maybe in the past, maybe still happening. So I'd like to encourage that it's also a wonderful idea to plant that virtual peace pole and just pray for peace in your relationship. What relationship do you have? Do I have? Do we have that still need resolution, that still need peace, where we're still carrying hurt or anger or a desire for forgiveness or a desire to be understood? And that's underneath forgiveness, because I work as a coach. When we want to be forgiven, we want for that to happen, we have to be understood, right? We got hurt and we want our hurt to be understood. It's not a coincidence that it came out of Japan after the terrible, terrible hurt of the nuclear bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. From that terrible hurt and this desire to be understood for the hurt comes this incredible desire for peace. And likewise, that can happen in our own families, in our own relationships. And a lot of families are struggling right now, whether it's couples or people with children, because they're home more than they're used to. They're not able to go to school or their work. And so there's more tension, there's more conflict. So I just want to acknowledge peace and praying for peace and planting a virtual peace pole in your home, just for you or your couple or your family, is just as important as praying for peace for the planet or for our country.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So what you said, Scott, and I often use the phrase, you know, we need to be walking peace poles. We need to be the peace poles. And I believe that we're in a huge global process of manifesting divinity in humanity, in our hearts and in the world. So all the hurt, all the, hurdles we have, we're really in a big cleansing process on the way of manifesting divinity. And I think that is our goal as a global family, as our Earth tribe, that we hold that vision really strongly, that we are um, uh, divine beings at the source,
Absolutely.
and to really work towards us through the hardship and the grief. We all have that, but to never forget that we are divine at the source, and keep that just alive within our hearts.
And a way to do that, in the spirit of unification, in the spirit of oneness, is whoever we see that we've got an enemy image around, whether it's a political figure or a person in our life. I find a wonderful practice is to look at that person and think to yourself, there's God experiencing itself fully as that person. Or you can even take it further and say, there I am experiencing myself fully as that person. And recognizing that there is, our scientists have proven what spiritual teachers have always been saying. There's only one unified field of ever-changing molecules that we're all a part of. There's not blank space between Fumi and I, or between Fumi and you. There is no blank space. There's just the illusion of blank space. Instead, there's this incredible unified field of ever-changing molecules. We had Deepak Chopra on our show a couple of times. And one of the things he says is that if a person lives an average life of, say, 90 to 100 years old, they will have shared 10,000 molecules with every other human being that has ever lived. Think about that. In our life, we share molecules, hundreds, maybe even thousands, with Jesus, Hitler, every human being imaginable. That's how interconnected we are. And so to create peace is to go beyond the illusion of separation, to go beyond our enemy image that we've assigned to somebody and recognize there I am in a different body. There is life, God, divinity, whatever you want to call it, source, experiencing itself as that person. And that's a wonderful practice for creating peace in our way of thinking and our way of seeing that which we previously saw as an enemy or as bad or as wrong.
That's so beautiful, Scott. And I think, we need to be in the state of non-dualism, not have an enemy, not be against anything, but be in the pure state of love and acceptance of all things. And I think it's really important now to practice that, to try to strive for that in our everyday lives and strive for our personal development, our spiritual development. This really is the time to really step up our practice. And I think the peace poles are a symbol of non-duality because it embraces all cultures. It's a bridge between cultures. There's no race, religion, or creed. It really is a melting place of the heart. And when the heart melts as one, communes as one, there's love. There's just love. So I'm just so thrilled to be here, Scott, to talk to you about peace poles and what's really important for our humanity, for our tribe at this time. And I hope we can all strive to be peace poles, walking peace poles in our life,
Yes.
and continue our spiritual development together.
So I know you've got a really wonderful, very in-depth program that's going to start in just a few minutes. But there were two other things I wanted to mention, and then one last question for you. One thing I wanted to mention was the date's November 22nd. And this is also a significant date in American history, or really world history. In 1963, this was the day that John Kennedy was assassinated. And I don't want to make a political thing about it, but I was 8 years old when that happened. And I remember being in my school and all the teachers were crying. And it just was it was such a big event. And as I've grown older and studied, I do believe that it was a very significant event in our world and in the shape of how things have gone. And so I just wanted to mention that. And I actually feel tears coming because whenever I think of November 22nd, all my life, I've always, oh yeah, this is when John Kennedy was killed. This is when JFK was assassinated. And so now I get to have a new association. I get to now associate November 22nd as Global Peace Pole Day. And I really have tears because it's been that big a thing for me. So thank you for choosing this day. Thank you, Life Spirit, for choosing it. The other thing I wanted to mention is, most of us are activists, and something you said, I just want to riff on. I've noticed that my friends that are activists who are in angry reaction to something are exhausted and they're tired and they're angry and they're frustrated a lot of the time. My friends that are activists that have a positive movement toward what they believe in have much more of a flow, much more of a movement that's carrying them. And so in our activism, may we find what it is we are longing for and move toward that, as opposed to reacting against something. So it's not about reacting against an enemy image or idea, but a movement toward the longing of our heart. And that's, again, what I love about the Global Peace Pole Day, because it's a movement toward peace. There's no politics or religion. We're not against anything. It's a movement toward peace. And so my question for you, as a role model, which you are, of a walking peace pole, what are some of your practices as a walking peace pole?
Well, it's a daily practice, and it does get challenging at times, as you know. But when I see something that is very painful on the news, there's a lot of that going on now. Hearing about people's tragedies, people's hurts, people's pain. The hurt is one is the hurt of all, but also the healing of one is the healing of all as well. So, in striving to heal myself, and I would watch the news, and if I see something negative, hear something negative, right away I use the mantra and prayer and affirmation, may peace prevail on earth. And it's something that I use to turn the light on, turn the light of peace, harmony, love, compassion on in my heart. It's just like a switch. And I believe that, that mantra itself is very powerful. And also to know that, all these peace poles are planted on the earth as acupunctures. I feel that it's just radiating that love out to, all those peace poles that I really feel they're alive and working on our behalf. So it's like connecting with them. And they have a connection, a grid of their own that surrounds the planet, that goes deep into the ground. It communicates out to the universe. There's a whole field of this peaceful, pulsating, may peace prevail on earth, pulsating. And it gives me a lot of strength to use that prayer and mantra to find my center, and to know that everything is in a process of manifesting that divinity. And also, the founder did talk a lot about the power of these words, that it's just not words, it's planting frequency. So that's really what I do, Scott, in my daily life, trying to become a walking peaceful. And it's been a sacred practice for me.
Well, maybe before we go to the video that you prepared, would you be willing to say the mantra 3 times slowly? And all of us watching can just feel the vibration with you.
I love that you asked that, and I'd like to say it in the original Japanese. So I'll say the Japanese, which is a frequency.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, I will say that in, how about if I say it twice in Japanese and twice in English?
That sounds good.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 世界人類が平和でありますように。世界人類が平和でありますように。May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think now, do you want to introduce the video and what's about to take place next?
Yeah, so we have prepared um, a broadcast for you. Infinite gratitude to Unify team who put this together for us. It's been a labor of love for us, a labor of peace, and we will be traveling from continent to continent and listen to our friends from the Peace Pole Network, and we will have the virtual Peace Pole planting marathon on the virtual map. We will have Kristen Hoffman come on to do a synchronized musical global meditation at about 2 p.m. Pacific. So stay tuned for that. She's going to come on live and do a beautiful, how just angelic and sacred she is,
We had her on
her
our
her
show last time.
performance. So I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that.
that's
So
amazing.
everyone gets
Yeah.
another, yeah, everyone gets another treat today. And following the meditation, we have DJ Anisha, who will lead us in a peace pole dance party. So we'll be jumping on the peace in the peaceful dance room, and all be dancing with our peace poles. So that will be the finale for the day. It will run about 3 hours. So just hop on when you'd like and join this big birthday celebration for founder Masahisa Goi, and also to celebrate the millions of people who have been touched by the message, May Peace Prevail on Earth, and all of you new friends who I hope many of you have a peace pole, have seen one, or would like to plant one now, to activate the peaceful grid. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Fumi. This is wonderful. I can't wait to watch the video.
I can't either.